Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I'm going to probably swap out the solenoid driver board on this Eagle Knievel. So let me tell you the background on this. So this board here, I had this in a KISS on route and it was rebooting periodically. Turns out it was some bad sockets in here. So I put new sockets in here, did some work to this board, and it's not rebooting anymore. But the problem I'm having with it, the game's booted up now. You see it's booted. It's doing the displays. If I turn it off, if I turn it on right now, it'll probably, that green light will probably lock on. Yep. So it should have flickered then go. But if I do it again, it'll do it again. If I turn it off and on just the right time, I can get it to boot. There it goes. So the problem I'm having with this is the reset circuit. It's looking for that stable 5 volt in a certain amount of time. It's not seeing it. So when I put this on the bench, I don't get that behavior when I use an arcade power supply. So this is, I don't know how new this is, but it's modern anyway. I think there's something about this that this board doesn't like. So I'm gonna just take this. What I'm trying to do. I've got this Space Invaders that I'm gonna go through. So this solenoid driver board here, I need to go through this anyway. I don't know anything about this. This game doesn't even have a transformer in it. So this thing may be totally trashed out. Everything may be bad on it. I don't know. But I'm gonna take this thing out, try to go through it, recap it, just kind of do some diagnostics on it, see if I can get this up to speed, and then put it into this game and see if I can get rid of that, if it not quite booting right. I've already tried putting a cap right here. That's across the, I think that's the Q2. That's a suggestion on Clay's website for when it's doing just this type of behavior. And that helped, but it's not good enough because I'm wanting to put this game on route. So they're going to turn the power on and it's got to boot. I can't be monkeying around with having to flip the switch on 5 times to get it to boot. So I'm going to start by yanking this board out and take it to the bench and go through it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just grab a multimeter here and check what I can check. Check these transistors here and the transistors in the high voltage. Maybe go across the caps, the fuse. I'll do the fuse real quick here. Okay, fuse is good. That's a good sign. I'm gonna swap these caps anyway, but how about I put it on horseshoe mode? Should be pretty much open on these caps. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna swap it over and check all these transistors. And I never know which way to go, so I just tried a couple different ways till I get that 0.6, 0.7, 0.4, and 0.5, and 0.5. Okay, 0.4 and 0.5. That's what they're gonna be. Mostly just looking for similarity. I could sing the Mr. Rogers song, but I won't. Maybe that was Sesame Street. That was Sesame Street, I think. One of these things is not like the other. Well, these are looking good so far. If I want to be real thorough, I'd go the other way and make sure they're open, but I'm not going to. So somebody had starting, so here's one of the, there's a few transistors up here, 0.6. Oh, that looks good. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, 0.6, 0.6, that looks like another one right there. That's 0.3 or 3.2, so turn it around, it'll be probably be good. Oh, it's 3.2 both ways. Make sure I'm getting what I think I'm getting. That's not a transistor, that's, oh, that's a pot, okay. So yeah, there's just the 2 transistors, hard to see because it's so nasty. There's that one there, and that one there. There's a diode. It's to the right. I think it's across there. I think that's the diode. Yeah, 0.6, that's look good. So that looked okay. So yeah, a little quick test, things looked okay. Let me zoom in on some of these. Nobody's ever flowed these. Reflowed these. Let's see how good they look or not good. That looks very not good. Y'all can see that. That's pretty much just floating in free space, the first several of them. Yeah. So for sure these should be reflowed. Kind of figured that. That's usually the case. Yeah, those are not looking much better. Yeah, they're all fractured. Usually the little small ones are not as bad. But yeah, you see that top one there? Or actually it's going to be on the left for y'all. It's fractured also. The ones at the ends are always the worst. And that one down there on the right. That one right there is also pretty much, so I can reflow all the all the solder and put some new caps on this thing, do a couple of ground out the caps. So this is the 12 volt that turned into 5 volt, so that's the ground side. So, and that's also a ground right there, so I'll ground that. And I forget which one of these is the ground, but I think it's that one. And ground it to the ground strut. Anyway, I'm gonna do it real quick. So this board's pretty nasty. In fact, this whole game had been full of mice. They'd been all over it. So I'm just gonna clean everything. I'm gonna solder up a little bit, just so that all that gunk and nastiness doesn't get incorporated, because I'm not gonna do the more thorough thing and remove the solder, and or even better, put in new pins. I'm just going to do the quick and dirty thing, which is put more solder on top. And that will be much better than it is. Well, that has gotten, looks like, no, that's just, I thought that had gotten hot, but that was just dirt. Okay. I'm gonna crank my oven, or my iron, up to about 11, which is to say about 400 degrees C. And find some thick solder, and I'm gonna get after it here. This won't take long at all. Yeah, I think I'll probably put y'all in fast mode about right now. Right. So we got the solder reflowed. So now we'll get to replacing these caps. Tenth week of 1979. It's done. Just yanking on these wires on the other side. A little fresh solder really makes getting the old solder out much easier. And See how much smaller these new caps are. And let me, here's a little screwdriver I can use. So for this one, I just, instead of using a wire, I just get a big blob of solder. That's the ground side. And normally the ground is only through the pin over here, but this grounds it. This strap here is ultimately grounded to the edge there, so it gives it grounds it to the cabinet. And we're going to take off this is the high voltage cap here. And I'm just yanking on this cap. These boards are really pretty robust. They will take a moderate amount of abuse. Some boards you can't get away with, but this one, these Bally Solenoid Driver Boards, you absolutely can't. They're like some of the stoutest, easiest to work on boards there are, in my opinion. Okay, so let me see if I get need a high voltage cap for this dude. Yeah, 350 volts. Yeah, here we go. And these, I don't have the same form factor. You know, they're all, so I ended up soldering one leg down and then putting a wire across to the other side. So I solder the positive side in like that, and then I'm gonna attach a wire to the other one. I may do that first. I'll probably take that shield off for make it easier, but I'm not going to. And while I'm thinking of it, I'm gonna get a zip tie. It's probably driving somebody crazy. I haven't zip tied this down yet. And gotta get a little piece of wire. So this piece of wire I've chose is a little bit too big to go through that hole there, so just slightly enlarge it there. And I think I can fish it through now. Yes, I can. Okay. I think I'll go ahead and solder that in right now. Yeah, I think I got that long enough. I'll go ahead and put this in there. That solder will be extra attracted to whatever's hot, so you can kind of pull it with your iron. All right, so I need to put a ground strap. Ah, Jesus. Did y'all see what I did? I put my cap in backwards, damn it. Well, it won't take long to fix. Somebody could have said something. I'd sit back there giggling. Get that cleaned off a little bit. Now my leads are the wrong, are in, geez, plus I get to do this again. That was a pain. And my long lead short, my short lead long. So I may have, my wire may be too short. And dang it. I may just, I'll save that one for another day. I'll get a fresh one. Because I don't have to redo that wire. Okay, that is the right lead. Put this zip tie on there one more time. I can fish it in the hole. Ah. I'd blow on it, but I can't because it's got a shield. Okay. Give it a good yank. It's solid. Okay. All right. So now we're to ground that to this perimeter. So another little piece of wire here. And now I found the smaller wire I needed earlier. Oh, that was a little too skinny. Probably turn down my iron a little bit now. Smoking all my flux away too quick. Okay, so that grounds that one to the perimeter of the board. So it puts it in this right here, and this one grounds essentially your 5 volt to the 12 volt before it turns into the 5 volt. So it makes your 5 volt more stable. And there's one more thing, which is, I mentioned this before, the 5 volt that runs these chips here, it actually comes off these pins. It comes on, if you look at this harness here, there's a loop of wire. It comes off from about the middle, I think down to the very bottom pin. And then from here, it comes down to the bottom. So it leaves the board, comes back. To make that more reliable, you connect TP1 and TP3 together here. Because they're basically the 5 volts at the top of the board, the 5 volts at the bottom of the board. So let me make sure I'm looking at the right thing. So that's TP1 and that's TP3 right there. So put a wire between those two, little jumper. So I'm gonna do that real quick. And if I got a little piece of red wire, I'll use red wire just because it's 5 volts, so you know, why not use some red? Oh, I never did check this one. Huh. I should check that with a multimeter too. It's kind of important. It's the 5 volt regulator. So without that, you don't have the 5 volts. I normally wouldn't solder over the board like this because it's drippity drip right on the board, but I'm just trying to keep it in the field of view for you guys. All right. Okay, so now, yeah, real quick, let me get my multimeter, turn it on here, and let's check our 5 volt regulator here. So it's building up because it's charging up a cap, but it should end up about 0.4 to 0.7, so that's good. I don't know. Oh, I saw it. Definitely one side. It seems like I remember that only one of these is like that. I think that's good, I believe. If not, we'll find out because we won't have the 5 volts. Wow, that solder joint there looks really crappy. It's on there. It just looks kind of dry. I guess it's underneath there. It's good. It's not coming off. Okay, I'm gonna go through this in the game, and I think I'll unplug the MPU and just see if I've got all my voltages on here. Okay, so I got the board put in here. I've got the input, and this is also the outputs of the 5 volts from this board. I've got the MPU unplugged, at least the important stuff. That's the voltages coming in, and I've got the 5 volts, where the 5 volts comes in on this board, unplugged also. So in case something really crazy goes on. So I'm gonna turn the game on. I got my multimeter here, and then I'm gonna measure voltages on this to see if we've got all our voltages. So I guess I've still got, yeah, I see right there, I see an orange dot. So we've got, yeah, we've got voltage to the displays. Well, that's good. Let me get my multimeter, get one of them tied into the ground. Put that on voltage. And let's go digging. Okay, TP1, well, TP5 should be 12. It's not. TP1 should be 5. It's not. Oh! I just saw a spark fly. What the heck is that doing in there? That was jammed into the harness. Is that it almost looks like an Allen wrench, but it is an Allen wrench. That was literally stuck in there. That's old. I don't know what it was doing in there. That's bizarre. We've still got our high voltage. I don't know if you can see it. I see the dot there. That's why I don't plug stuff in when I'm first doing these boards, because they're stupid stuff. But that was actually in the harness. So that was in the Evel Knievel already. I have no voltage. Let me check my voltages. Ah, geez, this one's funny. Okay, they're in the way back here. I can't even see them. I can't see what they say anyway. That's 6 volts. If I can get to them. That third one there is 241, so that's high voltage. That one's 12 volts. And that one's 0, so that's my AC voltage. And that's 42. So I think we're, the first one, I don't know if that's ground. Maybe it must be ground, yeah. And that one that was AC, we'll check it again. Yeah, we got our AC voltage. So we got all our voltages there, but we don't have them up here. Well, those header pins were shit. So maybe that's what it is. Like 1.8. Not much it can be, as this was working with the other solenoid board. And that's just, that TP5 is just the 12 volts coming from here. We got it here. We don't have it here. With that same setup, it worked on this board. So it pretty much, the only thing it can be is header pins. And they did look like crap. So let me pour the board out. Maybe I'll swap out these header pins. Yeah, they're pretty crusty. The bigger ones don't look bad. These smaller ones look pretty horrible. So let me swap out those header pins real quick. So I already desoldered this one. It's in the process of doing these. These little 0.1s, I usually do them 2 at a time. Just put the soldering iron between 2 of them. If they're in decent shape, I can usually get away with doing them 2 at a time like that, just a little bit faster. That one I did not get a second one, so I will do that second one and a new one. And see if this thing's going to come out of there. Do a little wiggle. Yeah, it's coming. There it goes. That's one short, I think. Is it? No, that's the right size. Right length. I never remember which way that nomenclature is, if it's inside or outside. I think that's the way they normally go. I don't know if that's gonna work, having that piece there, because I'm gonna go look, make sure that the connector will use that. I might snip that off. Yeah, it'll be fine with or without it, so I'm just gonna leave it. Just get one of these tacked in place here in the center. Woo! Hot tamale. All right, so it's back in here. Turn the game on. Let me get my ground connected here. And grab this. See, TP5. Still got nothing. Huh. TP1. I should have 5 volts right there. I should have 12 volts right there, and I've got nothing. My leads all the way in. Let me check this board again. I think it's that one. Nope, that's the high voltage 240. There's my 12 volts. Well, let me make sure I've got the 12 volts coming out on this pin up here. Well, looky what I found. Let me zoom in here. That Allen wrench was something somebody had jammed in. See, that pin is not even really there. I bet that orange, I don't know for sure that that orange wire is the 12 volts, but I'll bet money it is. That'd be about, so it goes in like that. That's kind of right next to that TP5. I'll get the schematics out. Either I've got to repin that. For sure that pin's missing. Actually, I'll just yank it out there and measure it. Okay, so I got that wire out of there. It was kind of glued in there, I think. Sure enough, that's my 12 volts. So let me put a pin on there, and then we'll see if we got some business. Yeah, so somebody, talk about a jerry rig. This thing, when I put that in there, I saw a little bit of spark, and I was like, what the heck, what the heck? And then I saw this hunk of metal, so I yanked it out, and I was like, what is it? And it's a little baby Allen wrench. Somebody had like made it secure by, talk about a hack. My goodness, I'm glad I found that sucker. All right, got this thrown back in here. Let me turn it on. See if we got voltages. There's TP5. Yeah, we got our 12 volts. I'll go down here and see we got our 5 volts. We got our 5 volts, looking good. High voltage. If I can get in here without shorting anything. Okay. 175, that's good for me. Let me turn it off, plug in the MPU, and maybe I'll turn on the plug in the driver board too. All right, get these suckers plugged in. I got the game turned off. All right. Hey, we got the flicker right away. We didn't get the locked on. I think this board, for whatever reason, did not like that new MPU. It either stabilizes it too fast or too slow. The 5 volts, it doesn't like it. But anyway, I'll use this on some game with a modern replacement. And this game actually had. It may have, I think this one did have a modern one when I got it. It had this one and a modern one. But I had redone this board and I wanted to stick it in this game. So I got harvested two new boards out of this game using some old stuff. But actually, I may put the new boards over here, actually. I'm going to have to use them somewhere. So that was kind of a learning experience for me that some of these old boards don't like, the old MPUs don't like the new Solenoid driver boards, apparently, or at least this particular one doesn't. I'm going to try it a few more times, but it's working every single time now. It's blinking right away. I don't have to go through the whole sequence. It would lock on almost every time you boot it, unless you turn it on and off. Y'all saw me do that at the beginning of the video, and that's what it always did. Now it's not doing it at all. So I fixed the problem, and we got this. So got these two old boards back in business. So that's cool. I'm always liking to use the old boards when I can. And I've got myself a free Allen wrench. So if you liked the video, click like and subscribe, and I'll see you around on the next one. Cheers.